Next up on our review of the 2023 Milwaukee Brewers, we're taking a look at the catchers and outfielders for the Brewers. These are guys who primarily played catcher, right field, center field, and left field and spent about 20 or more games for the Brewers this season. They will be graded based on their season stats as well as how they met their expectations heading into the year. The grading scale is as follows. A is for excellent, B is for above expectations / being just generally really, really good. C is for average, D is for below average, and F is for completely messing up. So let's go on ahead and get started with the big offseason trade acquisition in catcher William Contreras. What an acquisition he was in the offseason, as Contreras proved that he is a building block for the future with an absolutely fantastic season from the catcher position. Brought in from Atlanta in the Sean Murphy trade that the Brewers somehow snuck in and got 3 good players, it was expected that Contreras would be a really solid hitting catcher and a below-average defensive catcher. But he exceeded all expectations, being one of the best hitting catchers in all of baseball, and improved drastically as a defensive catcher, especially in terms of pitch blocking and framing. William was the best hitter on the Brewers, having a slash line of 289, 367, 457, with 17 home runs, 38 doubles, 1 triple, 78 RBIs, 6 steals, an OPS plus of 125, and a B-WAR of 3.8, which generally tends to lowball catchers due to them not always have the best defensive stats for them. He led all NL catchers in several categories and was recently awarded the Silver Slugger in the NL for his efforts. He also really improved defensively, as the Brewers mostly do with catchers. His DRS improved from being negative 11 in his first 2 seasons with the Braves to plus 5 in his first year with the Brewers, showing that he really put an effort in overall defensive catching. Overall, it was a fantastic season for Contreras, and one that he should be able to build upon for a long time in Milwaukee, as he won't be a free agent until 2028. I am giving Contreras a grade of A+, as he really exceeded expectations this year and showed that Brewers can still fleece teams in trades. Caratini had another solid season as a backup catcher for the Brewers, primarily being Corbin Burns' personal catcher for the majority of the season. He put up some respectable numbers, especially for a backup, having a slash line of 259, 327, 383 with 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, 4 doubles, 1 steal, and an OPS of 95, and a BWAR of .7. Also had exactly 0 defensive run saves for the season. I would initially say that Caratini would be brought back for the next year, as Corbin Burns was supposed to be back, but he was recently signed by the Houston Astros to be their backup catcher, so sadly Caratini will no longer be a Brewer, but overall for his 2023 season, I'm giving Caratini a grade of B-, as he did just basically about everything you would want for a backup catcher, and his numbers were really solid offensively as well. Acquired by the Brewers at the trade deadline from the Mets, Canha was a spark plug for the Brewers offense, as he was one of the best players for Milwaukee down the stretch. In 50 games with the Brewers, Canha had a slash line of 287, 373, 427, with 5 home runs, 33 RBIs, 10 doubles, 4 steals, an OPS plus of 120, and a WAR of 1 with the crew alone. He had several clutch moments for the Brewers, including a go-ahead grand slam in a key game late in the season. Sadly, he will not be joining the Brewers in 2024, as he was traded to the Tigers for a minor league pitcher. His player option would have been $11.5 million for the season, and that was too much for a player going into his age 35 season while hitting way above his career averages. But for his time with the Brewers, I'm giving Canha a grade of A-, as he was just amazing with the Brewers. He was so excellent for us in our playoff push and helped us win the Central Division title. Now that is more like it. 3 seasons after his devastating knee injury in 2019, between COVID and his back injuries, this is the closest we have seen Yelly that his MVP season that we all know and love. As he found some of his power back, he hit better and played pretty solid defense this year, where he was just really good. He wasn't his MVP form that he had in 2018 and 2019, but this is the best that Yelich has looked in years. He had a slash line of 278, 370, 447 with 19 home runs, 76 RBIs, 34 doubles, 28 steals, an OPS plus of 124, and a B WAR 3.6. Only committed 2 defensive errors, but did have a negative DRS at -3 due to some issues with the arm. But overall, this was a very, very successful season for Yelich, who should be a key player for the franchise in the next few seasons. Even he might move to a different position due to all the young guys coming up in the farm system. Overall, I'm giving Yelich a grade as B+, as he really had his best season in ages, and that makes me feel more confident in his output for the next several years. The mullet-wearing rookie had his ups and downs this season, but it is easy to see why he was the first person called up when Luis Urias went down with an injury opening day. Wiemer has a ton of power in his bat and plays some really, really good defense, but he also really struggled with consistent hitting and ending up striking out a ton. He was sent down to AAA at the end of the year due to his struggles at the plate. Overall, Wiemer had a slash line of 204, 283, 362, with 13 home runs, 42 RBIs, 19 doubles, 11 steals, an OPS of 76, and a B WAR of .9. He was really solid defensively, having 7 total assists from the outfield and an RDS, runs defensive saved, of 5. He did have 3 errors though, so there is some room for improvement. Wiemer is in a very interesting position as he is in a part of a very talented, young, and crowded outfield with Sal Frelick, Garrett Mitchell, and up-and-coming Jackson Chourio, plus veteran Christian Yelich. So I really don't know what his future will hold, but I really like the energy he brings to the outfield, and I really hope he finds consistency in the batting area, as his power can make him a very dangerous threat. Overall, I'm giving Wiemer a grade of C-, as he really did struggle with the bat as a rookie, but he has good power and a good glove, and I just hope he continues to get better. It wasn't a really good start to the season for Tyrone, as he missed a ton of games with an injury, and before he went down, he really struggled at the plate. But he went on a hot streak to end the season and provided a really good bat down the stretch. Taylor ended up with a slash line of 234, 267, 446, with 10 home runs, 35 RBIs, 17 doubles, 1 triple, 9 steals, an OPS plus 91, and a B WAR of .5. He was also really solid defensively, not committing any errors, having 4 outfield assists, and having a DRS of 4. He sadly will not be a member of the Brewers next season, as he was traded to the Mets with Adrian Houser in the offseason for a minor league pitcher. There just wasn't any room for him in the outfield with the 3 young rookies of Wiemer, Mitchell, and Frelick. Yelich still being here, and phenom prospect Jackson Chourio coming up soon. Overall, I'm giving Taylor a grade of C for the season, as that last stretch down the playoff push really stated what was going to be a really bad year for him. What a disaster this move was for the Crew. The only thing that makes this offseason trade of acquiring Jesse Winker somewhat salvageable was that Colton Wong, who the Brewers traded to Seattle for Winker and infielder Abraham Toro, also had an abysmal season. So instead of one team losing, at least both teams didn't get anything of value. Winker was brought in to see if he could recapture his 2021 All-Star season for the Brewers as a DH, but what they got was a worse version of his 2022 season. He struggled at the plate, was injured a vast majority of the season, and for some reason, he was on the postseason roster and got at-bats in the playoffs too. For the season, Winker had a slash line of .199 below the Mendoza line, 320, and then 247 with 1 home run, 23 RBIs, 5 doubles, an OPS plus of 60, and a B WAR of negative .7. I do not know where Winker is going to be for the 2024 season, but he is not returning to the Brewers. I'm giving Winker an F for an absolutely terrible, awful season. Debuting in late July to help the Brewers after he recovered from an injury in AAA, Frelick was the third member of the freshmen to debut in 2023, following Bryce Terang and Joey Wiemer, phenom prospect Jackson Chourio was the fourth, and he had a pretty good debut. Frelick was pretty decent with the bat, being more of a contact hitter than a power guy, really good on a base pass, and a common theme with these baby Brewers being absolutely incredible on defense. Frelick had a slash line of 246, 341, 351 with 3 home runs, 24 RBIs, 9 doubles, 1 triple, 7 steals, an OPS plus of 91, and a B WAR of 1.2. He was fantastic with the gloves, having no errors, 4 assists, and 6 defensive runs saved in the outfield. I am absolutely excited to see what the future holds for him, but the one thing that might hinder him, as is a common theme with the outfielders, is that we have a very, very crowded outfield next year with himself, Joey Weimer, Garrett Mitchell, Christian Yelich, Jackson Chourio fighting for the 3 outfield spots. Before his rookie season, I'm giving Frelick a grade of B, as he was a really solid rookie for the Brewers. Another rookie who made his debut with the Brewers in 2023, Blake Perkins, was a surprising regular in the lineup due to major injuries to members of the Brewers outfield. Like, several guys went down. And he had a decently solid season in that role, not really wowing you and pushing him to be a regular starter in the future, but a guy who can be called up from the minors and performing decent when the injury happens. Perkins had a slash line of 217, 325, 350 with 4 home runs, 20 RBIs, 7 doubles, 5 steals, an OPS plus of 86, and a BWAR of 1.2. I do not expect Perkins to get much playing time next season due to the crowded outfield, but still can be a good call-up option if someone goes down with an injury. I'm giving him a grade of C+ for being a pretty good backup option. A guy who I thought would have a breakout season, Mitchell was limited to only 65 at-bats after a shoulder injury in early April, sidelining him to the end of September. I still have faith in Mitchell, even though he really does need to cut down on the strikeouts, but it's really hard to give him a grade as he barely played last year. He had a slash line of 246, 315, 446 with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 steal, and OPS plus of 106 with a BWAR of 0.7. Defensively, in his limited playing time, he had a total of 3 defensive runs saved, as well as not committing any errors. So I'm not giving Mitchell a grade, but I still want to talk about him as I really do think he can be a solid contributor, and he should have a fully healthy season next year. So overall for the Brewers, for the catchers and outfields, the grades are as followed. Contreras got an A+, Caratini got a B-, Canna got an A-, Yelich had a B+, Weimer had a C-, Taylor had a C, Winker had an F, Frelick had a B, Perkins had a C+, and Mitchell had an incomplete grade. So overall, if we take the averages for all these grades, the overall grade was 2.6 or around a B-. It was really brought down by Jesse Winker being absolutely terrible, but guys like Contreras having a good year, Yelich bouncing back, Canna being a good rental really helped boost this grade. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I will start working on my relief pitcher review here shortly, but as we know, the Packers are in the playoffs right now, so that is also going on too. But thank you guys so much. See you again very soon.